Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Neil Howard. Thank you for returning for another segment of Health Professional Radio. We're going to be speaking with returning guest, Dr. Jan Wehkamp. He's joining us here from Janssen to talk about Janssen's presentation at UEGW 2022 about some new Stelara and novel combination therapy. Welcome back, Jan. How have you been?
Hi, Neil. It's good to hear you. Thank you. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for returning. For those who may not be familiar with you as a contributor, give us a little bit of your professional background.
Yeah, sure. So, we talked before. For the people who don't know me, I'm a physician by training. I treated patients, and I'm certified as a gastroenterologist. I'm also certified in internal medicine and as a clinical pharmacologist. I have a background in biotech, and I spent my whole career in the lab asking research questions about how disease happens and trying to find treatment avenues. So different backgrounds, and I'm now working at Janssen. I'm leading the strategy for gastroenterology for 3.5 years now.
Now, I said we were going to talk about some new data that was presented concerning Stelara. Tell us what the current landscape looks like for treating ulcerative colitis.
Yeah, sure. First of all, we do what we do at Janssen because patients need treatment. There's still huge unmet need for patients with ulcerative colitis. It's a disease where, without any cure, most patients are being hit at the prime of life. So many patients are very young. And so what they want is treatments which of course provide long-lasting efficacy, rapid response ideally, and sustained remission without the long-term use of corticosteroids, which is associated with safety. So efficacy and safety is important for patients. And we have about 1.6 million patients in the United States with inflammatory bowel diseases, Crohn's disease, and ulcerative colitis. Of course, many more around the world. So there's still tremendous unmet need for all these people suffering from these chronic diseases.
Talk a bit about UEGW 2022 and the new Stelara and novel combination therapy that was presented there.
Yes. So UEGW, the European Congress for Gastroenterology was in Vienna this year, beautiful city. And we presented data on Stelara, the unified data. And these data were the first time 4-year treatment data with Stelara, really focusing on what happens if you continue to get treatment, long-term extension. And that's important for physicians and patients to really understand how sustainable remission is, and in addition to remission, how effective the drug works, very important for the safety assessment. And so we were very happy with the results, and they help physicians and, of course, patients as well to choose the best treatment.
Well, what were some of the major takeaways? You said you were very happy about the results.
The major takeaways are that once you are on treatment, and if the treatment works, it's a very sustainable remission. So the likelihood of staying in remission is very high once you respond. About 79% of patients who got treated, received steroids, did not continue to need steroids at week 200. So after 4 years, which is a really good number. And the use of steroids is an indication for that the treatment really works. Long-term steroid use is associated with all kinds of different side effects. So that's a very important treatment goal. What is remarkable about Stelara and about the data which our team presented is that with more time which we study this drug and the drug in patients, we get more confident about the safety profile. So there was no difference in any safety measurement compared to placebo. So nothing which really was sticking out in terms of infection rates, in terms of malignancies, or other side effects. So it really gives us confidence and physicians who make their choices for their patients about the safety profile, which is remarkable. But it's also very important to do these studies, and that's why we are we were very proud and happy to present.
Well, tell us a bit about the week 38 VEGA combination therapy data.
Yeah, thank you. So this is a study in moderate to severely active ulcerative colitis patients. And we studied the combination of guselkumab and golimumab for 12 weeks. And then we continued to these patients on monotherapy, and we followed them for 38 weeks. And what we basically see is that, first of all, it's the first study with two biologicals in combination. And what we see is, as very important point for us, that by combining these two biologicals, we do not see a synergy in safety. So there are no differences between the different groups in any safety adverse events. Of course, for patients important, and for us, is that we do see a synergy in terms of effectiveness. So the combination of guselkumab and golimumab shows a significant delta in terms of clinical remission, in terms of endoscopic remission, and the combination of both. And so for us, this is very encouraging for this combination program, and we'll continue to invest in this program and, of course, more deeply into the pipeline.
Why should patients choose Tremfya and Stelara versus competitors?
First of all, Tremfya is not approved yet for Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. It's in an investigational trial, and we are continuing to study Tremfya in patients with Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. Stelara is approved. So I would say patients should take Stelara because, first of all, it works, and it works in a very effective way. And it does not only work short term, it works long term. So the likelihood of staying in remission once you respond to the treatment is very high. So it's a durable remission, sustainable remission, and with a very high likelihood, 79%, of not being in need of treatments like steroids anymore. And then, of course, in addition to effectiveness, it's the safety profile, which is remarkable. And if I talk to family members, patients, in my old role, I was mostly, the safety profile is really making the difference on top of the remarkable efficacy. So so far there's no difference in terms of placebo for all the safety parameters which were studied.
Is there anything that you'd like to add for our listeners, Jan?
Thank you. So together, the data which we presented at UEGW underscore our commitment in the field, and of course our commitment in our pathway approach, and to continue studying these diseases like Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis and other diseases in immunology with high unmet need. Our ultimate goal is that the patients feel better and the treatments are safe. And if you want to read more, you can look at janssen.com/gastroenterology.
Jan, it's always a pleasure, always some great information, and I'm looking forward to our next conversation. Thank you so much for lending us some more of your time.
Thank you very much.
You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard, in conversation with returning guest and contributor, Dr. Jan Wehkamp. Audio copies of this program are available at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au. You can also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Listen in, download, and subscribe at Anchor, Spotify, and be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Health Professional Radio.